Hey everyone, Wideck here again, this time with Game 4 of the Grand Finals from the Dreamhack Winter 2013 edition. And this time on Derelict Watcher, we've got spawning in the top right as the Red Zerg, representing Team Startail, we have Life. And Life's opponent and victor in the previous game. And he is now up 2-1 in the series, spawning in the bottom left as the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. We have Taeja. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to win this game. Either Taeja's going to get a really big stranglehold on this best of 7 series, or Life is going to be able to even it up. Either way, this should be very entertaining. Now, this map, Derelict Watcher, still in the map pool. And I think this map does favor the Terran player a little bit. I think drops are very effective on this map. It's to go around the map, to drop on your opponent's base, I think is a lot easier. And in addition to that, as a Zerg player, you generally need a lot of creep spread to try and get map control and map vision. And Derelict Watcher has a very wide area, and so it will be very difficult for Zerglings and Banelings to get surrounds on Marines, for example. And it's very difficult to also get so much creep spread everywhere, because you do kind of have to send your creep so many directions. You want to send it south to connect to your third base. You have to send it down here as well. Even through the middle, are you going to send the creep to the south side or through the north side? And if you want to expand this way, now you have to expand the creep so many different ways. So it may be difficult for Life to get that creep spread going the right way. So I do think this map does favor Taeja. And obviously with Taeja beating Life in the winners final 2-0 and leading the series 2-1, I think the momentum is really on Taeja's side. So Life's going to have to pull out something special here, I think, to even up the series in this matchup. Now, we do have a Reaper coming out of that barracks once again for Taeja. And Reapers are not that bad on this map, excuse me. They're not that effective because to get to the main base, you have to get to the natural. It's not like other maps where you can jump up from the low ground. So that is one thing that might hinder that Reaper just a little bit. Now, Life is getting that extractor early this time, so he should be going for Zergling speed early, which is a little bit different than his previous games. So I guess he wants map control earlier. There is 100 gas now. I don't see him getting that. Oh, there we go. The Zergling speed has been activated. So it looks like Life is changing up strategies, opting for that early Zergling speed map control. But the Reaper is going to be able to zoom on in into the base, able to scout out the timing of that spawning pool, as well as that extractor. So that Reaper is very useful, able to give Taeja that scouting information that he really needs. And it looks like he might be able to do some damage here. No, he hasn't killed any units as of yet. And it looks like this Reaper is going to be retreating as that first queen is out now. I don't think this Reaper is going to be able to do very much damage from now on. Back at home, Taeja is getting that factory, and that command center is almost finished at its natural. And it looks like he's going to be dumping that factory on that reactor, so we should be seeing double Hellion production very soon out of Taeja. And so it looks like neither player wants to concede map control to the other. They both want to have those speedy units out there to control what is going on. It looks like this Reaper is going to be hunting for that drone kill, but that drone is going to turn into an extractor, so that Reaper is not going to be able to do anything. Very good move by Life, saving that drone for that hatchery placement. Third hatchery should be going up. There we go. Third hatchery is put down by Life. And this game might be a little bit different than all the others, because like I said before, Life generally hasn't in the previous games against Patience in the losers final, and in the previous games against Taeja, he didn't get Zergling speed very early in the game, and so map control was basically conceded to the other very quickly. But with both players setting out their speedy units in the early part of this game, it will be difficult to decide who will get map control this early in the game. Now, it does look like, because with the Overlords in conjunction with those spreading Zerglings, that Life does have map control. He's able to scout out a little bit more of that map, but neither player is really at the other's doorstep. So they're both kind of in the dark about what's going on in each other's bases. Now, we do have that third command center by Taeja behind this wall, supply depots and bunkers. And this can be an interesting place to put it, because if a Zergling does run up this ramp, he would be able to see the command center. Generally, a lot of players like to put it here next to their main, but then it's a lot farther to float to their third base. So I understand why Taeja might opt to put the command center here. But it may get scouted, but there are no Zerglings around, and this Overlord will come in probably a little later. Now, at the same time, Taeja is moving across the map. He does have a small contingent of Hellions in that first Reaper, and he's going to be able to spot that Zerg creep, but there are no active creep tumors that he is able to see. And now with 4 Queens in the mix, I don't think these Hellions are going to be able to hang out here much longer. We also do have a Banshee here, but it's immediately spotted by the Queens. But are there Queens back home? Yes, there are 2 Queens. So this Banshee is not going to be able to do very much. Maybe he'll pick off 1 drone. No drones picked off as of yet. 1 drone is picked off, but the Queen is reinforcing this position. Now the Banshee does have to back off. So Taeja trying to be aggressive here, but not really succeeding. And at the same time, he's down by 20 supply. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that much in the early part of the game, but I mean, when you're down supply, you are down supply to your opponent. And we've got so many Queens protecting this area that the Hellions can't come in here and poke. Because generally, why you produce so many Hellions, and the scan does go down, able to spot that Baneling's nest, so that's a good move by Taeja. But in regards to the Hellions, they're not used to really destroy a lot of units in the early game generally. They're used to either sneak into the drone line and trying to do some significant damage economically, or they're primarily used for destroying these creep tumors while they're above ground and can be spotted. But because there's so many Queens, the Hellions can't get in there. So that's very unfortunate for Taeja. And so Life's creep threat is very effective. He is going north, he is going south, and he is going west as well. So what I mentioned earlier in the game about having difficulty having creep spread, Life is maximizing his ability to spread that creep with so many Queens and active creep tumors. Now that 4th hatchery is under attack from Life. This Banshee is doing some damage, but the Queens are going to reinforce his position. I don't think this Banshee... Oh, the Banshee did force the cancel on the hatchery, so at least it's going to cost some time and some minerals. So that Banshee did do some work, but if the Banshee's not careful here, Life is going to be able to pick it off for free. I don't think Taeja's paying attention. Yes, able to pull away that Banshee at the last moment. Now, what is interesting is that Taeja does not have the upgrades as of yet, and Life does. So Life actually has a small window here of about 20 seconds while he has the upgrade advantage, but I don't think Life is going to try and take advantage of this. Or is he? We do have a large run by of Zerglings running into this third base. There are no bunkers and it isn't walled off, so now all these SCVs and mules are going to be prone to be destroyed. The Hellions are able to roast a lot of the Zerglings, but the Zerglings have been able to destroy quite a few SCVs and quite a few Hellions as well. The losses are mounting for our Terran player. The Hellions are going to be able to come in here and mop up. Now, if you take a look at the resources lost, it looks like Life lost a lot, but you do have to remember that a lot of those casualties for our Terran player were SCVs, so that will exponentially increase into the future the amount of resources that aren't able to be mined. At the same time, a small counterattack from Taeja at that 4th base of Life's has been countered by a heavy dose of Zerglings and a few Mutalisks. So it looks like economic damage both ways, but I think Taeja took most of that. So it looks like the supplies have evened out, and both players are looking to do a significant blow to each other. They are moving across the map at the same time. Now, we do have the debris in the way, so if Taeja does want to attack that 4th base through this north area, it will be difficult for him unless he takes down these Let's see, takes down this debris first. And it looks like that's exactly what he is doing. And that's going to give a few extra seconds for Life to prepare for the attack at this base. The debris is finally destroyed, and now Taeja is going to be marching. Now 2-2 will be finishing for Life very soon. And once that finishes, Taeja's army will be at a strict disadvantage. That Lone Banshee is still providing some firepower, but the Mules are going to be rushing in here. The Banelings get great connections on a whole bunch of Marines. It looks like there are more Banelings reinforcing this position. The Widow Mines are in position. And now with just Marines left, it looks like Taeja is going to try and come in here, but it looks like it's time for the Marines to skedaddle. The Zerglings are trying to surround the Stim Marines, and they're going to get a little bit of a surround. Some of the Marines are getting picked off, but the rest are going to get picked up by the medevacs, and they're going to boost away to more reinforcing Marines. But look at that supply difference. There's a 60 supply difference in favor of Life, and Life is just stampeding forward with his superior army and his superior upgrades. Taeja is falling back, and it looks like he's just going to GG now. Wow, that was really, really fast. If you took a look at about the 13 or 12 minute mark, the supplies were dead even at about 145. And then in a few minutes, because of Life's upgrades, he was just able to melt away those Marines very quickly. So Taeja is going to lose this game. So very interesting. When both players go for that macroeconomic game in Game 4, it looks like Life was able to defeat Taeja quite easily, it looks like. So the series is tied 2-2, so it looks like now it's going to go down to the wire to a best-of-3 series. So we'll have to head over to Game 5 to see who can gain the upper hand.